Welcome to Equal Ground Headlines. I am Samuel B. Williams. In a deeply troubling development, Canada has condemned China for the execution of 4 Canadian citizens earlier this year, all charged with drug-related offenses. This incident has further strained the already tense relations between Ottawa and Beijing. Foreign Affairs Minister Melanie Joly confirmed that the 4 individuals were dual citizens of Canada and China. The Chinese government proceeded with the executions despite repeated appeals for clemency from Canadian officials, including both Minister Joly and former Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. The specific identities of the executed individuals have not been disclosed, respecting the privacy wishes of their families. The Canadian government has expressed strong condemnation of China's actions. Minister Joly stated, "There are 4 Canadians that have been executed, and therefore we are strongly condemning what happened." She emphasized Canada's firm opposition to the death penalty, describing it as irreversible and inconsistent with basic human dignity. Global Affairs Canada echoed this sentiment, highlighting that Canada had persistently called for clemency at the highest levels and remained steadfast in its opposition to capital punishment in all cases. In response, the Chinese embassy in Ottawa defended the executions, asserting that the individuals were convicted of severe drug-related crimes, a category of offenses that China penalizes rigorously. The embassy emphasized China's zero-tolerance policy towards drug crimes and maintained that the legal proceedings were conducted in strict accordance with Chinese law, with solid and sufficient evidence supporting the conviction. Furthermore, China does not recognize dual citizenship, thereby treating the individuals solely as Chinese nationals. These executions have exacerbated existing tensions between Canada and China. Relations have been particularly strained since the 2018 arrest of Hawaii Executive Meng Wanzhou in Canada. At the behest of U.S. authorities, which led to subsequent detentions of Canadian citizens Michael Kovrig and Michael Spavor in China. Although both Canadians were eventually released, the incident left a lasting impact on bilateral relations. More recently, China imposed tariffs on over $2.60 billion worth of Canadian agricultural and food products in retaliation for Canadian levies on Chinese electric vehicles, steel, and aluminum. Human rights organizations, including Amnesty International, have denounced the executions. Ketty Nivyabandi, head of Amnesty International's English-speaking Canada branch, described the executions as shocking and inhumane, urging Canada to reassess its approach to human rights advocacy on the global stage. The organization highlighted that China continues to be one of the world's leading practitioners of capital punishment, executing thousands annually. Ongoing cases. The situation has also drawn attention to other Canadians facing severe penalties in China. Notably, Robert Schellenberg, who was initially sentenced to 15 years in prison for drug smuggling, had his sentence escalated to the death penalty in 2019 amid heightened diplomatic tensions. As of now, Schellenberg remains detained, with Canada continuing to advocate for clemency on his behalf. The execution of these Canadian citizens has cast a further shadow over Canada-China relations, underscoring deep-seated disagreements on human rights and judicial practices. As both nations navigate this complex landscape, the international community watches closely, concerned about the implications for global diplomacy and the protection of human rights.